Hello guys, let's begin. New chapter today, Unit 4, Human Rights in India. First of all, I think in previous classes you must have get a glimpse of or at least a little about what human rights as a term suggests, right? The basic rights or the basic limits or the basic needs what a human requires so that he may lead his life in dignity, in integrity. That is human right. Okay, so the basic rights that are needed to be provided to a person so that his dignity, his life can be maintained. That is what we call as human rights, protection of human rights, right? Okay, now let's begin. Introduction. Focus is on human rights laws in India and it consists of two main chapters. Uh, let's leave it let's leave this. Chapters and topics covered are not arranged based on themes like children, women, Dalits and Adivasis, religious minorities, environment or citizens generally, but are arranged on basis of legal framework and provisions. And these and many other themes are embedded in discussions on relevant topics of legal framework and provisions of human rights laws in India. The sub-theme of child marriage and Dalits find reference under the topic of right to equality provision of constitution. Now it is a right. See, a child or children are also humans. इंसान तो वो भी है, चाहे छोटे हों चाहे बड़े हों, किसी भी एज के हों, इंसान तो इंसान है. दलित जो है, अनटचेबल्स जो हैं, वो भी ह्यूमंस हैं. So if you are protecting the rights or if you are protecting the dignity of Dalits, if you are working so that their condition, their plight can be improved, so that is that you are working towards ensuring proper human rights in your area or in your country. हमने अनटचेबिलिटी अबॉलिश करी तो वो उन अनटचेबल्स के राइट्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने जैसा था. एंड अगेन अनटचेबल्स आर ऑल्सो ह्यूमंस. उनकी लाइफ एक डिग्निटी के साथ वो जी सके. हम हमेशा अगर हम किसी एक इंसान को नीचा दिखाते रहेंगे ना, तो उसकी जो डिग्निटी होती है, उसका जो प्राइड होता है एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, वो धीरे धीरे कम होता है, वो अपनी नज़रों में गिरने लगता है, ऐसा हम मानते हैं. तो हर बार एक बंदे को कोसते रहना ठीक नहीं है. जस्ट बिकॉज वो एक लोअर कास्ट को बिलोंग करता है या वो अनटचेबल है या वो दलित है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं वो पुअर है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हर बार हम उसको हर गलती के लिए उसको डांटते रहें या उसको कोसते रहें कि वाई आर यू इवन अलाइव ऑन दिस प्लैनेट. ये सब ना हो. उसकी एज अ ह्यूमन जो डिग्निटी है, जो लाइफ है, वो भी प्रॉपरली और फ्लुएंटली चल सके, उसके लिए कुछ बेसिक राइट्स हैं जो कि हर एक इंसान को प्रोवाइड किए जाते हैं. उसी को कहते हैं ह्यूमन राइट्स. तो considering this, having said this, whatever human rights laws are prevalent in India and its various rule books, that is what we are gonna discuss in this chapter. This unit will provide students with understanding of words human rights, some historical and international developments about human rights, the discussion about various kinds of human rights that are safeguarded by several laws in India. As I said, the human rights laws which are given in various rule books of the country, examples of various themes with corresponding laws, role of various human rights commissions in India, and related complaint mechanisms. So I'm not explaining much this time, because as we proceed in this chapter we will see these various themes or these various things which are given over here, and there we will deal with this in an elaborated manner. So I'm just going through like a simple reading over this. Human rights field is expansive and this unit merely provides some basic examples of those laws, themes and complaint mechanisms to give students a general knowledge sense of human rights commonly and in India. Means in general, what is human rights as a concept? What is the sense or meaning of human rights as a concept in general in India and in the country and in the worldwide? This introduction covers briefly few developments in international historical context and international practice of human rights. Introduction is followed by two main chapters. Now we will come on to the first full-fledged topic of this chapter, which is historical context. So whenever we start something, we look over to what was its history, right? उसका पास्ट कैसा था, उसका प्रेजेंट कैसा है, और फिर हम फ्यूचर पर आते हैं. तो यहाँ पर भी सबसे पहले हम हिस्ट्री देखेंगे. Historically, varied religious and social traditions as well as philosophical writings have recognized in different ways and with diverse perspectives the inherent rules of being humans, particularly the principles that ensure respect for human dignity. As I told you, human rights का basically मतलब ये है कुछ ऐसे rights या कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें हम प्रोवाइड करें हर एक इंसान को बिना किसी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन से, ताकि उसकी जो एक रिस्पेक्ट है, एक जो डिग्निटी है एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, वो मेंटेन की जा सके. So the various religious, various cultures or traditions and philosophical writings, हर रिलीजन की एक अपनी ट्रेडिशंस और कल्चर्स होते थे और वो अपने तरह से लिखते थे. सो देयर राइटिंग्स वर वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम ईच अदर. दे हैड वेरियस देयर ओन पर्सपेक्टिव. ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन हैज़ इट्स ओन पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट? सो if you talk about a religion as a whole, so as a religion also they had various diverse perspectives from each other, that what could be the rules of being humans. इंसान वो है जो ऐसा करता है, या if you are a human you have to respect animals, you have to give respect to your surroundings, you have to take care of the neighborhood and all such things. So as a human, what are your duties or what you need to do? Because you are a human, that all was given in various traditional or religious texts in history. क्योंकि if you talk about the 14th और 13th century as such, तब इंडिया के पास कोई रूल बुक नहीं थी जैसा कि आज है. ठीक है, कोई IPC CRPC कुछ नहीं था इंडिया के पास, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं था इंडिया के पास. तो तब रिलीजियन की टेक्स्ट बुक को ही सब कुछ माना जाता था. जो भी कल्चर्स या ट्रेडिशंस थे उसी को एज अ रूल, एज अ लॉ ट्रीट किया जाता था. इसलिए वेरियस रिलीजियस या जो कल्चरल ट्रेडिशंस थे, फिलोसफिकल राइटिंग्स थी वेरियस रिलीजन्स की या वेरियस लोगों की, उनका अपना एक पर्सपेक्टिव था कि किस तरीके से ह्यूमन को डिफ़ाइन किया जाता है, और अगर वो ह्यूमन है तो उसको क्या क्या करने की ज़रूरत है. बेसिकली टू शो रिस्पेक्ट टू योर नेबरहुड वॉज द मेन टास्क ऑफ बीइंग ह्यूमन. ठीक है. The principles or the provisions that ensure that what need to be done to maintain human dignity and respect. Such principles have commonly been understood as basic and unalienable, जिसको avoid नहीं किया जा सकता, which is very basic that you can't avoid them, you can't leave them. For example, traditions like Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucian have made reference to respect and well-being for others, which mean that human beings must conduct themselves in particular ways. As I said, you have to give respect, you have to take care of your surroundings, of your environment, of the other people around, of animals, or of nature which is around you. So human being, if you are a human being, you have to show respect, you have to show care, you have to look after, you have to think well of everything which is surrounding you. The modern society has recognized certain rules of respecting human dignity and their well-being and formulated them in the form of human rights. एक human rights day है 10th December को, जो हर साल मनाया जाता है. So if I talk about, that was earlier. Historically we have various religion or traditional books जिसमें human beings को task दिए जाते थे और principles दिए हुए थे that would ensure the respect and dignity for being a human, right? And also that what kind of respect or well-being or a caretaker a person has to be, because he is born as a human. And if I talk about the modern era, the modern society also, it has certain principles or provisions that are regarded as some basic rights which ensure human dignity, human well-being, and that all they have given in a certain book, that is human rights. ये human rights book है और इसको हर वर्ल्ड के हर एक इंसान को ओबे करने की ज़रूरत है. सो दैट कंटेन्स सर्टेन रूल्स और प्रिंसिपल्स दैट नीड टू बी फॉलोड टू रिस्पेक्ट ह्यूमन डिग्निटी एंड फॉर द वेल-बीइंग ऑफ ह्यूमंस ओनली. The word rights denote that these rules are entitlements or claims of all to be recognized and protected through duties and obligations, and state ensures that human rights of all are guaranteed. मतलब that each and every person has to be provided with these human rights so that it may be granted to each one of the person irrespective of any sort of discrimination. कुछ भी discrimination नहीं होना चाहिए, and every person, because he is a human, so now human rights had to be applied on him and he has to follow that, because now it is a duty, it is an obligation on him to follow that duty, to follow those entitlements or rules that are nothing but human rights that are under this category. तो ह्यूमन राइट्स बेसिकली अगर हम फॉलो करेंगे तो ये इंश्योर करता है कि अदर पर्सन भी उन्हीं ह्यूमन राइट्स को फॉलो कर रहा है, जिसकी वजह से ना वो हमारे राइट्स को वॉयलेट करेगा और ना हम उसके राइट को वॉयलेट करेंगे. ठीक है, हमको अदर ह्यूमन बींग्स के तरफ भी केयर दिखानी है और उनके भी वेल बीइंग के बारे में सोचना है. वी डोंट हैव टू किल समबडी, राइट? आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू अ वेरी small example to get things more clear. There is a basic concept that you have to show well-being or you have to show respect towards the other person, right? ये एक human right concept है. तो आपको किसी को इतना मतलब मार नहीं देना, you don't have to kill somebody. So अगर ये एक human right concept है, you have to show respect and you don't have to kill somebody, तो ये अब आपकी life को भी तो ensure कर रहा है ना, because you and the other person are entitled under the same human right concept. उसको भी पता है कि that he can't kill you or you can't kill him. तो ये चीज़ आप दोनों को protect कर रही है. You both are under that thing, you both are recognized by the same human rights upon yourselves, and you are protected also through those duties or rules. Okay, and now the on part of government, it is the main duty that government has to ensure that each and every person who is living in its nation is guaranteed these human rights without any sort of discrimination done. The modern concept of human rights emerged from Western politics and philosophy. The English legal documents of Magna Carta of 1215 and English Bill of Rights of 1689 are some of the earliest examples of human rights laws. So earliest मतलब सबसे पहले किसने रिकॉग्नाइज किया ह्यूमन राइट्स को एज अ पार्ट ऑफ लॉ? दैट वाज द मैग्ना कार्टा ऑफ 1215 एंड इंग्लिश बिल ऑफ राइट्स ऑफ 1689. Magna Carta is very important because it was the first human right bill to be made. The first ever is Magna Carta. So it is very important. Year was 1215, which was an agreement between the English King John and barons who were unhappy about taxation policies of monarch. See, earlier the king or the monarch was the supreme person. Whatever he used to say, that you have to obey. और ये भी माना जाता था that king can never be wrong. Whatever the king has said, it has to be like what we say in Hindi, पत्थर की लकीर, right? वो बात बिल्कुल सही है. हम किंग के अगेंस्ट नहीं जा सकते. Whatever he is saying is always and absolutely correct, was what the thinking was of the earlier people. And monarch had all the powers under his own hand, right? So if there are some taxation policies जिससे लोग खुश नहीं थे, तो उसको कम करने के लिए, उस डिससेटिस्फैक्शन को कम करने के लिए, उस सिचुएशन को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, there was an agreement which was entered into between the English King John and the barons and the people of the country, which was none other than the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta included clauses in form of rights language. It granted barons the right to legal trial and prevented their arrest or imprisonment or outlawing or abuse or denial of ownership of property without legal trial. So with this bill, with the Magna Carta, the people of the nation had the right that they may be tried, means there would be a proper legal trial in courts, so that their side is also heard in an efficient manner. They are also given a fair chance to be heard, and their ownership of property is not denied directly without any sort of proceedings done. ठीक है, किंग ने बोला आई एम स्नैचिंग अवे योर प्रॉपर्टी बिकॉज यू weren't able to pay the taxes that were imposed on you. So now your property is under my control. Now you are not the owner of this property. एंड दिस इज़ डन विदाउट हियरिंग द साइड ऑफ द पर्सन जिसकी प्रॉपर्टी उसके हाथ से गई. तो ये चीज़ ना हो, इतना ज़्यादा ब्रूटल किंग ना हो, और इतना जो ये पॉलिसीज़ हो रही हैं टैक्सेशन पॉलिसीज़, उस तरीके को, उस सिचुएशन को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए अब कुछ भी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा टैक्स आप इम्पोज कर दो, और कोई गरीब बंदा है या कोई भी फार्मर है जो कि उतना पैसा कमा नहीं पाता, तो वो इतना टैक्स आपको देगा कहाँ? अगर वो कमाता 10 रुपये और आपने उस पर टैक्स डाला पर मंथ 100 रुपये, तो वो कहाँ से पे करेगा? तो आप जानबूझ के ये चीज़ें इस तरीके से कर रहे हो. आप जानते हो कि अगर हम ज़्यादा टैक्स लगाएंगे वो नहीं पे कर पाएगा और फिर उसकी प्रॉपर्टी आपके अंडर होगी. तो ये जो आप पॉलिसीज़, ब्रूटल पॉलिसीज़ और आर्बिट्री पॉलिसीज़ बना रहे हैं अपने फ़ायदे के लिए, विदाउट लुकिंग इनटू द प्रॉफिट्स और विदाउट लुकिंग इनटू द वेलबींग ऑफ द अदर पीपल इन योर ओन नेशन और एनीवेयर एल्स, वट एवर द केस में बी, आप दूसरे की वेलबींग नहीं देख रहे हो, सिर्फ अपना फ़ायदा देख रहे हो. तो ये चीज़ मोनार्क करते थे. उसी चीज़ को कम करने के लिए, अपने खुद के राइट्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए बैरन्स ने, लोगों ने और इंग्लिश किंग ने एक अग्रीमेंट किया विच वॉज नोन एज द मैग्ना कार्टा. दैट वॉज मेड अप इन 1215. और उसमें उन्होंने बताया कि हमारी ओनरशिप ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी हमसे नहीं ली जाएगी विदाउट हैविंग अ प्रॉपर लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स, और हमारी अरेस्ट भी नहीं होगी. वी विल नॉट बी एंटाइटल्ड टू इम्प्रिजनमेंट ऑफ एनी टर्म, वेदर इट इज़ अ शॉर्टर और लॉन्ग स्पैन ऑफ टाइम, बट विदाउट प्रॉपर ट्रायल हमको कोई भी पनिशमेंट या हमसे हमारी प्रॉपर्टी नहीं छीनी जाएगी. सो दिस वॉज the Magna Carta rights which were ensured by the people themselves upon them. Now, from this I will do in the next video.